Alright, shed update time. This is a little different looking now. So, the other day I got the whole front clip, aside from the hood, torn off of this in anticipation of getting all this cleaned up and the engine out. I'm slightly putting off taking the engine out just because it takes up a bit of space and I don't really have a ton of space at the moment. So I think for the time being, I'm going to leave this in, at least until the other engine is a little bit closer, and then hopefully I'll be a little bit farther along on other stuff. So, other news, fenders. I have acquired fenders. This one here is off the 62. It is very, very solid, being from California, and this one is pretty straight. It's got a few little dents up here, well, fairly ferocious dents, but they're not, it's not crazy. But back here is quite nice. I don't think that's going to need any attention whatsoever, which is good. The other fender on the 62, this was all caved in and like bondoed over and still crooked, so instead of trying to mangle and manhandle that out, this fender, which is also pretty solid at the back, which is unusual, this is one of the free ones. This one is fairly straight. It's got a couple little dings, but otherwise fairly straight. And the only rust on it is here. So I think that fixing this is going to be slightly easier than trying to fix the whole side of the fender being buckled. So that's my executive decision. And this one is pretty nice all around. This battery tray is all nice and solid. It's not all rotten. This is not broken off. The one on the car was broken. And otherwise in very good condition, with the exception of this. So this is what we got to work with. We got a 62 fender and a 63 fender going on a 61. Both of them are going to need the trim holes relocated because the trim comes up here, not here, so those are going to have to get welded up, and that's going to be a later project. But at least I have everything I need more or less in the shed here, so that's good. But what I've been up to today is cleaning bolts. All the bolts getting nice and wire wheeled and cleaned up. Stuff that's got to get done, so might as well do it. But I had a fella come to look at the gnarly today. Unfortunately, it does not look like he's going to buy it because it does not run quite as well as he was hoping. So that is somewhat unfortunate. I was kind of hoping to sell it. He seemed like a nice guy. He brought a trailer and everything, so somewhat unfortunate. However, that's just kind of how it goes. I'm really not wanting to buy the set of points for it, but I might have to sell it. Which I guess if I did, and that is the problem, being a big if, then it would make it quite a bit more sellable. However, I don't know if I quite want to take the $200 gamble, because there have been enough other things on this that have been problematic, that have not been the main cause of why it didn't run. Namely, most of the engine internals. I kind of thought that was going to solve the problem running, but $700 later and it still does the same thing. So at this point, it is most likely the points, but I can't quite justify taking another $200 gamble. So that's my little saga. But yeah, there's plenty to do on this. I've got a bunch of other projects I could dig into, like the windows. I would like to redo all the fuzzies in the windows and get everything all cleaned and lubed up. But that is all kind of like small project sort of things. So I'm kind of saving that for when I run out of big stuff to do here. Or if I'm waiting on parts and still want to keep moving. Those are little projects that can happen whenever I have all the pieces for them. It doesn't really, there's no hold up, and they're all kind of easy stuff. So I don't want to burn up all those kind of projects when I don't have to yet, if that makes any kind of sense. But there's a lot to do here. I would like to do the suspension bushings while it's all apart. We will see if I have time or not to do those, or if I have the proper tools here or not to do those. I might not. I seem to recall there was a specialty tool to spread this apart here to get the kingpin out, but I don't quite remember, and I definitely don't have it. So we will see how that goes. They're pretty well wasted. There's that's pretty bad. That's not supposed to be even out like that. There's not much left of those bushings. But they certainly would function. So that's kind of the dilemma here. But it would be a lot easier to do them with the fenders off, that's for damn sure. So that's kind of a attraction to doing them now. But we'll see. In the meantime, I've got a lot of cleaning and scrubbing and scraping and other assorted tasks to do. So I'm not going to worry about that quite yet. In other news, I took the engine apart in my second, I guess, advanced engines class last night. And so far, that is looking to be far better than anticipated. It looks like all the rod bearings and all the main bearings are brand new, or they were brand new, and then the engine was obviously never run. So they are still brand new. It's been turned over like 4 times. There's a couple of little tiny wear marks just from it turning, but everything looks to be in excellent shape, and we're measuring everything, and it's all checking out to be within spec. So it is looking like I'm only going to have to buy cam bearings, and that's only because to put the engine block in the hot tank, the bath to clean everything and get it all washed, that'll kind of wreck the bearing material, and the cam bearings are pressed in, so you can't just pop them out. So I think a set of cam bearings is like $40. I'm not too worried about it. So I'm gonna have to get a set of those, and then the gasket set for it, which is fairly pricey. But what it's looking like so far, I think that might be all I need. The rings even look pretty nice. We haven't measured those yet. If they're looking pretty worn, then I'm gonna get a set of rings. But so far, so good. Everything's looking to be pretty nice in that engine, which is a pleasant surprise. So more on that as that develops. But so far, it's looking pretty good. So I guess that's about all I got. So until more happens.